Hello students, we see here a C# program to find factorial value for a given integer. In this program, we accept one integer from user and we will find that particular factorial value for entered number. So let's begin. But before going towards the coding part, what is mean by factorial? As we see or as we know what is mean by factorial, if I am considering 5, then 5 factorial denotes like this exclamatory symbol, and 5 factorial is equal to 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, or we can say that 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. Means factorial, how we find the factorial value for a given integer, the multiplication from 1, 2, 3 up to that particular number. Hence we get the factorial for that particular number. Now if we know the given number n, and if we want to find the n factorial, then we multiply from 1 to 1 into 2 into 3 up to that particular number. So this is very easy by using for loop. We may write a for loop from 1 to that particular number and stores this multiplication into one particular variable, which is the result of our program. So let's begin. We declare one integer variable like n, whose factorial we need to find, and accept that particular number from user by using console.read line. But as we know, this read line gives me a string value, so we need to convert that string value into integer value. So I am using here convert.toInt32 so that my string value will be converted into integer and stored into this n variable. But before accepting this integer value, I am giving one message to user for entering one integer number. So I am giving here enter any number or integer to find factorial value. Give whatever message you want to give on console. Then the user gives one integer value and which is stored inside this n variable. Now I am writing here one for loop which goes from 1 to n, because we want to multiply that number from 1 to n, means 1 into 2 into 3 into up to that particular number. So I am writing here for loop which counter I goes whose counter I goes from 1 to n. Now I am declaring one another variable for storing the result of my factorial, and I am initializing that variable to fact. Then I am writing here fact is equal to which in which I want to store that result of factorial, and this fact is equal to previous fact, means previous result, into I. So this is the logic behind finding the factorial value. The initial value for fact is 1. So for first iteration it takes 1 into i's value is 1, then 1 into 1 will be stored, then 1 into 2, right? Fact value is 1, and now second iteration the value of I will be 2. So 1 into 2 will be stored inside this factorial variable. Then at the third iteration 2 into 3 means 6 will be stored inside this factorial variable. Then at fourth iteration 6 into 4. In this way we store the values one by one into this resulted variable which is fact. Now after all the iterations of this for loop, we get the result inside this fact variable, and now we can write or display it on console like this. N factorial symbol is here. N factorial is equal to, my result is inside fact variable. So this give me a result as if n having value 5, then 5 factorial is equal to 120. In this way our output will be displayed. If n having the value 4, then we will get 4 factorial as I think 24. So this result we will get on output screen. So this is our logic, and finally I am writing here console dot read key, and then we will run our program. There is no any error, so I can run this program. Now I am running this program. My program is compiling. Program compiled successfully, and now it is running. Enter any number to find factorial. I know the 5 factorial is 120, so I am checking 5 factorial is equal to 120. Okay, then again I am running the same program to see 4 factorial is equal to 24. So my program is correct here. Now again I am creating this program by using user defined functions as well. So if I want to create one fact function which gives me the resulted factorial value, so I am declaring the return type for this factorial function as int, and it takes some integer parameter whose factorial we want to calculate, that is the n parameter. Means n factorial we need to calculate in this factorial function, and the result we need to return from this factorial function. So this is the logic here, and I am removing this code from main and pasting it inside this. Now here I need to declare fact variable and initialized as 1, and after executing this for loop, we know the result is fact variable. Result will be stored in this fact variable, and I need to return that fact result from this function. So I am writing here return function, and my result is inside fact. So I only need to call that factorial function inside main like this, and I need to pass that n variable. So at this line what happens, function will be called, my user defined function I am writing here. Then while function call, this is the function call factorial of n, this is the function call, and this is the function definition. What happens when we call the function, control goes to respective function definition. So after calling this factorial of n, my control goes to this definition, and I am passing the n value to this function, so that this n value will be stored inside this n variable. This n variable is different, and this n variable is different. The scope of this n variable is inside main only, and this n is different, and whose scope is inside factorial function only. So these two n are different. Now after calling this function, my control goes to here and execute this definition line by line, and then finally it return the result of this fact variable to this calling function. Means the result of or returned value comes inside this function call, and that returned value we assign to this fact variable. So my result will be stored inside this fact variable, which is inside main, and now I'm displaying that result inside this main. So if I run this program, we will get the same correct output, like 5 factorial is equal to 120. So in this way we can do our program to find factorial of given integer by using user defined function or without using user defined function. Here we see how we can pass the values to function and also how we can return the values from function, our user defined function. Here two statements are there. Here first function call will be executed and then assignment statement will be executed. First function call will be executed and then the returned result will be stored inside this fact variable. After execution of this function, that result stored inside this fact variable. Means it will not happen like first assignment will be there and then function call will be there. So first function call step is there and then assignment operation will be done. So this is our program, simple program. We can do this program using recursion also. For recursion, we change some logic inside this function. If recursion means what? Function calling itself is called as recursion. Now same program we can rewrite by using recursion. Or return 1. If n is exactly equal to 1, then return 1. Otherwise, else we need to return n into, we are calling here the same function, n minus 1 here. If the value of n becomes 1, then we return 1, otherwise we return n into factorial of n minus 1. In this way we can find out the factorial of a given integer. This is by using recursion. Why this is recursion or recursive logic? Because I am calling this factorial function inside the same factorial. Means function calling itself. This is the function call again. I am calling factorial function inside same factorial function. So this is called as a recursion. If I run this program, see, we will check the output. 6 factorial is 720. Again I am running for 5 I am checking. So we will get the correct result. The logic behind this is 5 factorial means what? We can write this 5 factorial as 5 into 4 factorial, or and this 4 factorial means 4 into 3 factorial, or this 3 factorial means 3 into 2 factorial, and again this 2 factorial means 2 into 1 factorial. And as we know, 1 factorial means 1 into 1 or 1 into. So in this way we stop here. When we get the 1 factorial means when we reach up to or when our n becomes 1, we return 1 value. Means this 1 factorial returns me 1 value. If this is the function call, then it gives me the result as 1. Then 2 into 1, this 2 factorial returns me 2 into 1 means 2. So this gives me 2. Then 3 into 2, this 3 factorial gives me this result, return this result. 3 into 6 means this gives me 6 result, and then 4 factorial gives me 4 into 6 means 24. So return the value is inside function call. So this is the 24, and after this calculation I am getting 5 into 24 means 120 inside this function call. So I am getting 120. So this is the logic behind recursion. In this way